Over these past 9 months, we have lost 4 sisters to death. Faced with the certainty of death, I found myself questioning, is there an afterlife? Is there really a resurrection? Did Jesus ascend to his Father? What if all this is just a hoax? I placed myself in the presence of the disciples after the death of Jesus. I would think they were terrified of the cross, barbaric, shameful, humiliating, and hopeless. They would be terrified of their own community, of other Jewish believers and their leaders, hiding, perhaps even angry that Jesus left them, abandoned. A deep loss of hope for the kingdom of Jesus that he spoke of. What about the promises of the Beatitudes? The meek shall inherit the earth. The peacemakers shall be called sons and daughters of God. What is real? And then we hear the word about the resurrection and Jesus' appearances. The pain of loss found hope. Yet Jesus was different. He came and he went. What did all this mean? Can I hope in the promises? What does it mean for us now? Maybe we should just go fishing. Connecting to the past, that's what makes sense. But even there, Jesus came, and this time he invited the disciples to care for his sheep, especially Peter. His invocation was, "Follow me." But not even then, he had not sent the Spirit. We hear of the Spirit coming in the first chapter of the Acts. It was in that experience that his chosen were freed to proclaim the hope of Jesus. This could not be a hoax, because these frightened men and women shared the hope of Jesus despite the dangers. They no longer hid in closed rooms, but proclaimed this hope of Jesus the Messiah. They risked imprisonment, crucifixion, beheading, flogging, humiliation, and yes, loss. They preached the way of Jesus with little responses at times. We hear in the Acts that Paul was in Athens preaching the teachings of Jesus, and it was said that when they heard about the resurrection of the dead, they scoffed at them. But others said, "We would like to hear you about this other time." And Paul left them. Some joined, but only a few. It is in the Acts of the Apostles that we hear several times that these men and women risked all, the Spirit of God uniting them into a community of believers. They were Parthians, Medes, Elamites, Arabians, hearing the promises of God in a common tongue, the tongue of love, peace, and a shared community. Barriers were dropped between cultures and common language, and the common language was hope. We also know from the Acts and letters that there was not always smooth sailing, so to speak. There were divisions over circumcision, dietary rules, the following of the Jewish law. But the Spirit breathed over them, and they found union. How does this community of the way speak to us today? Today we would say there is little unity. It seems that we're more divisive than we've ever been. We have our own differences of opinions, choices, and sensibilities. The temptation is always fiercely to defend our ideas, believing them to be good for everybody, and agreeing only with those who think as we do. We have created a faith in our own image, based on our egos. We might think that what unites us is our beliefs and our morality, but there is much more. There is the principle of unity, which is known in the Spirit. The Spirit reminds us that we are born from a gift, the gift of love, and that we grow by giving, not by holding on, but by giving of ourselves. What keeps us from giving? Pope Francis, in one of his sermons, suggests that there are 3 attitudes that prevent us: narcissism, victimhood, and pessimism. The narcissist thinks, life is good if I profit from it, so why should I give anything of myself? The victim complains, No one understands me. No one helps me. No one loves me. Everyone has it in for me. The heart of the victim is closed, withholding, lost in the morass of their victimhood. The last one is pessimism. The pessimist gets angry with the world and sits back and does nothing. What good is giving? That is useless. They get caught up in seeing the worst, experiencing their own hopelessness. We need the Spirit to heal us of our complaints and our darkness. Spirit, memory of God, revive us. Free us from the paralysis of selfishness and awaken in us the desire to serve and do good. Make us builders of unity and grant us the courage to move outside of ourselves and out of our self-interests. Help us to become one heart among many, the many that are broken, bearing the gifts of the Spirit, the gifts of wisdom, knowledge, faith, healing, miracles, prophecy, and discernment of the spirits.